nerds, and welcome to The Gutter. This is the 23rd, episode of the Gutter Nerds podcast. My name is Steven. Joining me today is Corporate Cal. What's up,
Hey, what's going on?
Lauren.
Forgot my name, didn't you?
Well, I was trying to think of something funny.
Well, it's
and
been
I was like,
too long.
It's been...
We missed you.
Yeah, we forgot
who are you again? What are you doing on our set?
Okay.
Get the fuck out of this apartment. You don't belong here anymore. I'm going to call the police. Stranger danger.
And the emotional abuser at the end of the couch is Byronic Commando.
Hi, everybody.
Also, Crusty Chuck.
Oh, dear.
Bringing it back a classic.
Here we go.
Back a classic.
Couch Crusty Chuck, or just Crusty Couch Chuck, or just...
Has Calvin not heard that story?
This story has been
heard the
told
Crusty
on
Chuck
this podcast before.
I probably have heard it. I just like to enhance it.
Oh man, I've heard it like 8 times. I'll hear it again.
If you want to tell the Crusty Chuck story...
Children, sit down around me. We're going to have story
You're
time.
crusty.
But first, don't forget, today's episode is brought to you by Speedo.
Oh.
The Calvin collection is available this summer.
What
Look
color are we doing this year?
at that hair. Look at that hair.
Looking sexy
Do you
all
have an
day.
alfalfa?
Yeah.
I just finished wakeboarding.
I'm just going to leave this up during the whole podcast.
Go
you guys
for it,
can
man.
just sit there and just
Put it like
super
right,
enjoy it.
There's
over.
There's so
right
many
here.
better Speedo photos, and you chose that one?
I had to go through your Facebook
Oh,
like,
Jesus.
to find like a
You're not going to
follow
hazard
one.
pay for that, man.
Dude, I could just have sent you the photos. Like, you could have just asked me for
He
them.
would have given you a flash drive and was like, here you
Like,
are,
here you go, bro.
Steven.
What, a singular flash drive?
Game Guy says the
got big
podcast has been live for less than 10 seconds. Lauren's already been kicked out. And then Jonathan says, more like speed don't.
Oh. I don't think you're ready.
Still got him?
In
Of
my
course, you still got him on hand?
defense,
What, Speedos?
Yeah.
Yeah. We can have a photo shoot if you want, bro.
I don't know about
in
that.
my
No,
defense,
thank you.
I've been furthering my education so I can be as smart as you assholes.
I don't know. That's such a good thing.
You don't have to study for that.
Yeah. Matter of
Least
fact,
that,
we
man.
need to get you more drunk so you can kill more brain cells and get down to our level.
I killed a lot of brain cells.
My goodness. Well, so I guess before we get to what you've been playing, the Krusty Chuck story is that when we were having a Halo 2 or a LAN party, I believe it was. Is that right?
It was the Halo 2 launch party that you guys held at the house.
Yeah, it was the launch party.
We had just met each other. Like, I just started working at the Blockbuster, and then a couple of months later, Halo 2 came out. The store that we worked at had this, had a midnight release, essentially, where people would come in, they'd buy the game, and then after we closed up, that was when you had the event, because that was a weekend.
So we had a bunch of people over from Blockbuster to like play with us and stuff, and it was one of the first things that Chuck came and hung out with us to do. And we'd ordered pizza, and your boyfriend at the your boyfriend now,
My first experience with him.
your boyfriend now was not your boyfriend at the time. This was 2002
You didn't even know you
or
existed
something.
yet, I don't think.
Barely.
I still technically didn't.
But
You still don't now. What's your point?
Yeah, apparently.
But we had ordered a bunch of pizza for everybody, and Chuck comes in, notices that some people have been eating the pizza but leaving the crusts behind, and he was appalled. It looks like he found like the bones in the catacombs. He was like, "Dear God, Jesus Christ, does nobody here eat the crusts?" And Peter goes, "If you want them, you can have them." And he's like, "Well, yeah." And so he just takes the box, and Peter goes, "That's why we call you Krusty Chuck, because Chuck eats the crust."
I think when you say crusty Chuck, I think a lot different type of crust.
Yeah,
Fucking everybody does
like
whenever
a-
this thing comes out. So,
Let's say you've had like too much starch in your shirt and just bending to walk around as you walk, like some shit just starts falling off you. That's what I think. Like you're like unclean and unbathed.
Yeah, I don't like washing my clothes.
Yeah, I think like gross and like you're crusty, like ugh.
Boy, I took a shower before I came here. These are all clean
Can
clothes.
we be like more specific, like pizza crusty Chuck? Because just crusty Chuck.
See,
I think
even
the
Shark
idea-
says it. That story was a lot tamer than I expected.
Well, I think the whole idea is that the nickname is supposed to be much worse sounding than the origin story.
Fooled you.
It's not like we call him,
It's still pretty gross because these people could have like hepatitis and like
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean could have?
That's right. That or bronchitis, like any sort of disease, and he's eating off their plate. Like it's just like eating at a restaurant off people's plates. Like you don't do it. Like to
Do
me,
you
it's,
not have any faith in your own like immune system?
Did you just?
You don't have any faith in your own immune system.
I honestly don't know what the fuck is going on anymore. But
they're talking about hepatitis.
And bronchitis. You mentioned bronchitis in there or something. Did I catch a bronchitis in there?
You could be sick and leaving your pizza, and he's like, "Oh man, that's a delicious pizza."
So, Lauren, let me know whether or not that the classes that you're taking this semester or next semester also happen to involve basic human anatomy and physiology.
Apparently, I need to take health for this podcast.
No, he needs to take health for this podcast.
I've plenty of health. That's why I don't eat other people's food.
Like I took plenty of health. I have lots of health. Up to here, healthy as
See how healthy I am? Healthy.
So, guys, what you been playing? Cal, what you been playing?
Players Unknown Battleground and League.
PUBG?
Actually been playing.
You got some League in.
How do you do that? How do you do that?
How do you find the
Because
time?
you're not the kind of person I've noticed that likes to split between two games like that.
You usually focus on one at a time, right?
Yeah.
I played 2 games of League today. I won 2 games of League, and I played about 8 games of PUBG.
Fantastic. How'd you do?
Top 2 games in a row, squad play, and then
That's it.
then we just went batshit crazy in the rest of them. Just dropped in places.
But all y'all.
Oh yeah.
Bang!
There's some shooting rounds, but it's still lots of fun. And have gotten some chicken dinners lately too, so it's fun.
Did you how many chicken dinners you got so far? Do you know?
Total in this since they did the stat reset, total of 4 in squad play.
Now, how big is your chicken coop?
Dude, I've got 260 games played, so 4 and 260 is a 1%er.
Okay.
But it's still it's a hard game.
Yeah.
So, but I'll take top 2, top 3. We'll go deep into the rounds, but it's fun. So
you're still digging it?
Still having blast.
You still on XCOM 2?
No, I didn't. I haven't gotten to play much this last week because I wanted to save the final bit of XCOM 2 for when you guys can watch, when you can stream it and see, how your characters do and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, so I did. I'm on the final mission or the final 2 missions. So no, Lauren's alive in my 4th iteration.
Oh,
Okay,
She's a sniper.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course I'm a sniper.
We're keeping you as far away from the action as possible.
Thanks.
You're heavy grenadier. You're no, you're heavy. You're a backup heavy.
Rude.
And
Calvin.
Cal is the specialist hacker, combat hacker.
And I'm alive.
You're alive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's trying to keep us alive now.
No, so I haven't been playing much because I've been doing a lot of moving, prep, and stuff like that. But I did this week get to go eat at a Waffle House. A new one opened up. Going to a Waffle House is not terribly strange.
I'm wow, you went to a Waffle House. Congrats, Steven. Yay!
A new one opened by our place.
Did they have copper mugs and serve you and rub your feet?
No, so I thought if I ever want to eat at a clean Waffle House, I'm gonna have to go in the first few days.
No, it's still unclean.
So they opened.
Unclean.
We went the first couple days, and I will tell you, doesn't change much.
Did they greet you with the typical "Welcome to the Awful Waffle"?
I like Waffle House, guys.
It's not that I dislike it, but when you're greeted with "Welcome to the Awful Waffle" and it's 2:30 in the morning, you're like, "Fuck! I didn't think it was awful, but now, goddammit, I feel unclean and unsafe."
They're nice to me.
This is coming from a guy who works at a 4-star restaurant?
It's considered fine dining.
It is considered fine dining.
I eat everywhere else.
Which means he operates on a whole other level of server customer service.
So, do you eat at Taco Bell?
Sometimes.
He does. It's not sometimes. It's fairly regular.
And by the way, speaking of fast food, just to throw a curveball at you, has anybody had the spicy strawberry chicken sandwich from Whataburger yet?
I refuse to have it.
It's actually pretty good.
It looks disgusting.
It's pretty good.
But
Whoa, wait.
Yes, I said spicy.
Dude, no. Tell me about this burger.
So it's a breakfast sandwich, like the honey butter.
Fuck! Come on!
Like the honey butter chicken.
Really?
But it's strawberry.
It's got strawberry
spicy chicken, and it's got a biscuit.
Well, for starters, I'm never going to be able to eat breakfast at a fast food restaurant ever again. And secondly, breakfast at fast food?
It's after
Seriously?
11.
It's after 11.
You can get it. I think you can get it after
Whataburger.
11.
It's Whataburger.
Or you can go to 11 o'clock at night. I see what you're
Or
saying.
it's 24-hour on the way to work. You can pick one up.
No. They won't serve it until after 11.
Yeah, so if he goes in the morning,
that is
work.
Right.
That is a good point, Dragonfly. Your fine dining establishment is not cleverly disguised as a gas station.
You know, there is one of those, and it's called Chef Point.
Yeah,
it's out in South Lake.
We ate there. We ate there on Friday.
Chicken stuffed.
We were there.
Chicken stuffed chicken
on Friday.
I will tell you though that they had a whiteboard on the Waffle House that we went into, and someone had wiped off the W. So it said Waffle House on the whiteboard on the way in immediately. And they said, welcome to Waffle House. The service, usually when you first open a restaurant, is usually the best it's ever going to be. Because they like bring in people and like train like their best and stuff like that. And it was, she was very sweet.
But she was very quiet.
How old was she?
Out like 19, 20.
Okay.
But it took a few reminders. I do like the waffle was good. I enjoyed the waffle, not much else. But it was like, wow. I would go to the back to the bathroom, and like there's the men's room.
It flushes!
No, the men's room has like a not vacant thing. You know how sometimes you can switch bathrooms, it'll say vacant or not vacant. It said not vacant, and I sat there and I waited for like 5-6 minutes, and I couldn't hear anything, and the door was locked. And I was like, I think someone just killed themselves in a Waffle House, like locked the door, offed it.
When
it's only the blood seeping out.
when Chris and I showed up to meet you guys there, you were still waiting for the bathroom. You came back out a couple of minutes later, but I remember looking around and trying to find you, and I saw you in the room, and you had this look like. So
so I ended up using the women's restroom. So there you go.
Yeah, you came back out.
It was clean as shit.
He came back out and he said, I'm not going to go into the women's restroom and possibly get arrested.
I don't know if the bathroom bill passed or not. I didn't know if someone was going to beat the shit out of me.
Well, we kept telling you that we'll just pull up pictures from that Christmas episode where you dressed up as a chick and say that you identify as a female.
I was about to say, were you about to say you identify as an attack, attack helicopter and just go wherever?
That's
I identify as a
I'm going to helicopter, go where the fuck I want. And Game Guy does ask, when are we going to do the Meat Mountain Challenge from Arby's?
Arby's?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm in.
Ew.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm cut off at Arby's.
We're doing it. I say we do it at PAX South.
We could do it at PAX. Oh, speaking of PAX, I'm glad you said that. I want to get to what you guys have been playing and what you guys have been doing. But first, PAX South tickets go on sale tomorrow. So
you're gonna buy
on it. If you don't get them tomorrow, you may not be able to get them. Or if you won't be able to get your weekend pass, that's for sure. You might be able to do one day or a couple day or something like that.
You're going to buy a small pack.
But I don't think I can afford that, but I might be able to do something since you guys are my crew. I might be able to find a way to take care of it, but we'll figure it out. We are going to be producing videos down there. We may not be able to stream down there, or we might from... PAX is in January. It's late January, and I do not know how much they are.
What is the ticket?
75.
75 for a weekend pass, right?
I just paid my bills.
But anyway, we'll see what we can do. But some of us from Gutter Nerds will be at PAX doing stuff there.
I had a blast last year. With Red Six and Game Guy, and it was so much fun.
That's right.
I want to go.
Got to meet.
I got to meet Game Guy.
Got to see him.
Y'all got home and you had all these stories. Like you just came back from the magical land of Oz.
You did?
Yeah, and then he fucked off to I don't know where.
I was doing stuff.
I saw you for an hour the entire weekend.
Because I'm a busy man.
A busy man, you say? A busy man. He's a busy man.
I'm a busy person.
What'd you do? Name one thing you did instead of hanging out with Game Guy.
Penny arcade pin stuff.
Penny arcade pin stuff. Something that goes on recurring through the entire event.
There's meetups for trading and stuff.
Oh, meetups.
Hey, if you invest in a thing, you gotta invest in a thing. Caldane didn't get to hang out with Game Guy because he was playing Magic.
All weekend. All weekend.
So there you go.
Or I was at a panel.
Isn't the purpose?
Or I was in line for something.
A lot of
Isn't the purpose of these conventions to get a bunch of people together so they can meet?
And to go to panels.
Well, to do stuff you can't normally do, like pin trading.
The pin trading I'll get. Caldane, on the other hand, if you're watching, unforgivable.
But we also did bar stuff afterwards.
Yeah,
I got to see Red Six drunk. That was so much fun.
Wait.
Yeah, it's not hard to see Red Six drunk.
It is not hard to see Caldane drunk.
If you guys want to see Red Six drunk, just go to our YouTube channel and go to E3, the EA E3 2017. There you go.
I would just call them up. and they're probably drunk right now.
I think I just saw Robotical Nick in the chat.
I think Robotical Nick joined. You drunk, Nick, right now?
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know.
Just send us a photo of you drinking something, because we know you are.
So what have you guys been playing? What do you
Yes, perfect.
Oh, hello. So,
Drinking! He's drinking!
I think you're right. So what have you been playing, Lauren?
I finally finished Alice Madness Returns.
You did.
Yeah, that freaked me out.
Speaking of Alice Madness Returns.
It's live TV, guys. That happens sometimes. You can't see out that thing. So you've been playing Alice Madness Returns?
Yes, and I finished it. Did we get Ding Dong Ditched?
Maybe.
I think we just got Ding Dong Ditched.
I think they were in the wrong place.
Professionalism!
That's fine. So, did you like it? Like, overall, you really enjoyed it?
I'm really sad that it's the last one that's been made.
Was that do you remember who made that?
American
McGee.
It was Crazy Horse and
but you liked it.
I really did.
Okay.
It was just the right amount of creepy with just the right amount of everything I love.
So there's like the fantastical creepy is sort of your thing, right? Like,
I like storyline as well.
Is that why you're with Peter?
Yeah.
Just kidding.
It's
all the Lovecraft.
Well, no, honestly, because Peter didn't like the new one. He said it wasn't everything he liked it, but it's not Lovecraftian. And
no, not in the least bit
at all. But it's my kind of creepy because I'm a creepy person.
That's cool.
And so it was everything I wanted and more. But I'm also a big storyline fan, which is why like Last of Us, I was really upset because it didn't go how I thought it was gonna go. And it's stuff like that. Like if it has a good storyline, I will continue and play.
Did you play it on PC or?
American McGee's was originally on PC, but I played both on 360.
You played it on 360. Okay, cool. That's cool. What about you, Chuck? What you been playing?
Nothing. Crystal and I have had the kids all week, so I've been.
Did you
not even anything on a cell phone? Nothing?
Did you get to watch any Evo?
I got to watch Smash Evo because they were watching Smash on Evo. So
Okay.
yeah, we've had the kids all week. So I've just been like deferring to them for a while, making sure they're okay.
So when the kids are there, because the kids are
an adult.
well, the kids are either adult aged or almost adult aged. Is it? I guess. Are you allowing them to use your systems, and that's why you don't game, or do you have to like?
Well, for the most part, actually, their gaming tastes and their gaming schedules are not really mine. And to the point where, like, when we first met, they were pretty okay gamers. Like they did things fairly regularly. But now the both of them are such hardcore weeboos that they have literally no other interest in doing anything else right now except watching anime.
Somebody watched a lot of anime, preferring so a lot of people that go to.
That was an otaku.
No, otaku's a fanboy of specific, but a weeboo's more like
general.
It's just more of an extreme anime fan.
Which is more extreme?
The weeboos, definitely. Okay. Like these are the both of them have a detailed list of the series that they have started, how far into each series they have gone, and then they have individually ranked how good every episode that they've watched is.
That's pretty awesome.
That's how hardcore they are. And since, they're doing that and I'm trying to keep a roof over our heads, it's just I've let them kind of take over and hang out, and I just kind of sit back and watch.
What was the last thing you played?
GTA 5.
GTA 5 online?
Like I was able to get a little bit in on Sunday morning before I went to go help you guys move out.
Game Guy says, no one has your gaming taste, Chuck. That could very well be a compliment. I don't think he meant it as such, but I think that it could be.
Insult or compliment, I don't care how you mean it.
Yeah, what's that garbage game he likes to play?
In general,
something.
Warframe.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, the one that has its
own. Are you excited about the open world aspect that they're implementing? The fields or what are the? I can't remember what it's called, but you know what I mean. The expansion.
The plains of Eidolon.
That's it. Thank you.
I don't know.
Field, plains, same shit.
Like, TennoCon is essentially E3 for Warframe, so I have to wait for shit to actually start unfolding and catching up. But at the same time, I myself had to catch up on everything that they've released.
Are the expansions in Warframe free? Those kind of updates?
They're not only free; they're required. They are part of an update.
Okay.
So yeah, you'll they'll say,
"Hey, it's a free game. The whole thing's free."
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, a vast majority of it is free. Some of it is just exclusive to
League of Legends.
League of Legends is not free. It costs you your soul.
Well,
it costs you your self-respect, at least.
So, today we're going to talk about interpersonal relationships in gaming, and what I mean by that is, that wave, by the way, was to Caldane. Hello, Caldane, because I see he popped in. Interpersonal relationships. So we're talking about times in games where the characters in the game, the relationships made sense. It can be romantic. It doesn't have to be. Anything, and this was suggested to us by our dev friend Morgan Wagnon, who is the junior mission designer on Mafia 3, and they just released their last bit of DLC, so I suggest you go check it out. I intend to get the season pass and do the DLC stuff. And what we're gonna find today is that some developers, some games have really good interpersonal relationships, and some don't, obviously, but some developers seem to be naturally better at it than others, and we'll go through a few examples. Anything that pops into your mind or something you want to talk about in depth, go for it. So one of the first ones that I thought of when thinking about interpersonal relationships is in the Arkham trilogy, the Batman and Joker. And the way that Joker's arc and Batman's arc is, that whole trilogy is really about their relationship. And in a weird, because the game's open world, you don't realize the focus really until the end. You're like, oh, that's what it was about this whole time. Do you guys have any love or like or dislike for the Batman-Joker relationship in general, / have you played the Arkham games?
In general, I've only ever found one instance in which I liked the Batman in himself, the Joker in himself, and then the relationship. My favorite Joker has been the animated series Joker.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite Batman.
Voicing it,
oh yeah,
of course.
And Hamill voices the
and Hamill voices it in the Arkham series,
right?
As he should.
My favorite my favorite Batman was always the Adam West Batman, because not only was he goofy, like, you know, I enjoy Goofy, as if you couldn't tell already. He also made a point of focusing on the detective aspect,
right?
Which Batman the Animated Series did at the same time. But in terms of the actual relationship between the two, the Killing Joke, easily
I was
the
about
Killing
to
Joke.
say that out loud too,
because Alan Moore. I was
not
a
big fan of the Killing Joke.
Just for the record, by all means,
you're a terrible person.
V for Vendetta and Watchmen and The Killing Joke, reading all three convinced me that Alan Moore likes to use characters as vehicles for concepts, for characters for philosophies. So you have this philosophy of order at all costs versus chaos simply because it's the nature of the world, clashing with themselves, clashing with each other in The Killing Joke, and that made for a fascinating back and forth between them.
So what Rocksteady did in the Arkham series was started off with, in the first game, Joker takes over the asylum. In the second game, Joker sort of takes over the city. And I'm going to get into some spoiler territory here for about 60 seconds for the Arkham trilogy. So here's your warning, spoiler alert, Arkham Trilogy.
La 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 la.
Have you not played it, Lauren?
I keep holding it off because they're supposed to do a collection series for PS4.
I think it's out.
It's not. I keep looking for it and I can't find it. So if it is out, somebody needs to buy it for me and I'll reimburse you.
I mean, you're not going to remember it as much regardless. I would still talk about it. Like, I mean, they're long games.
Okay, so at the end of the second one, Joker dies and Batman tries to actually save him, and then in the third game, the sort of twist in the third game is that the Joker is still the villain. and it is in Bruce's head. It is the way that he grapples with
the death,
their entire relationship and stuff.
Huh.
So, okay, you're good. And so the Rocksteady using that is extremely interesting and something that that I don't see a lot. And this is something that is sort of the whole point of this episode, is that these things, when done well, are so impactful that I would say that interpersonal relationships might be the most important part of the storytelling aspect of gaming.
It seems to me
to that form of gaming. Don't forget.
Yes, to a story-driven game.
Story-driven game.
It seems to me like the most interesting things that you can do with the Joker involving almost any other character is removing him from the picture and seeing what that absence does.
That's how I feel about Superman, is that in any Superman story, he's the least interesting character. It's the effect that he has on the world around him that is the most interesting thing to me.
That's just people that are too focused on his superpowers.
See, but I'm on the complete opposite end of you. I relate really well to the Joker. I feel like his complete psychosis is totally legitimate, and without that, the whole relationship wouldn't have happened, and I think Batman wouldn't be the same person as he. I believe every villain makes the hero who he becomes. It's just like people that you meet throughout your lifetime. Okay. Though they may not be in your life, they morph your personality, and whether they're in your life or not, that's still a part of you, regardless of if they're still there or not.
Here's another example. Go ahead, Cal. You raised your hand like a good.
I just want to get this clear. So you're understanding the relationship between Joker because he is a crazy person and Batman is not a crazy person?
No.
Because every one of the people that Batman locks up, they're all lunatics. They're all insane lunatics, and so he's being the higher code of like, you're a crazy person trying to kill people and you need to be locked away in an asylum. That's basically it. So if they were put away, then they don't do anything bad anymore. So.
Right. No, I'm not saying like if Batman didn't put Joker away, it wouldn't have been what it was. But what I'm saying is Joker, as well as all the other villains, are intricate to him as a person, much less the relationship that they have, him being a, I guess, high-functioning crazy person, if that helps. Because there's high-functioning and then there's
of course,
your average Joe.
That's a whole different aspect.
And Shark Eye says Batman is crazy in his own way, so that also, yes, there's like there, depending on the interpretation of him, but generally, yeah. And actually, now that you mention it, I think the best villains are the ones that have a personal relationship with the hero. Mm-hmm. Not just like, oh, this bad guy's trying to take over the world and we don't know him, but let's go kill him, you know? Think about, and granted the rest of the game wasn't great, think about Far Cry 4. The relationship that the character has with the villain.
Which only the villain knows.
Yeah.
Because the player character has no idea who this guy is. All he knows is this bus all of a sudden gets ambushed and he gets dragged out. The first thing he sees of this dude is he just stabs the shit out of one of his own men and then instead complains about him getting blood on his nice shoes.
So, Game Guy does mention that the bundle comes out July 29.
Thank you.
So, it's pretty close, for the record. And Jonathan has a suggestion for an interesting relationship done well. John and Jack Marston, Red Dead Redemption, the father-son dynamic. Yeah. And these and we'll talk about this again with other games. The ending of that game, I'm not going to say specifically what happens or what it is, just in case you haven't played it. But I will say that the ending of the game depends entirely on the believability of that relationship.
I will say this. They put a lot of time... they try to make it seem as though as soon as Marston is relieved of his duty, he can go and meet his family again, and then that's going to be the end of the game.
And Jonathan says his son... Jack is not in the game very much, but the time that you do get to spend with him is very meaningful and very well done.
It is very well done, but it's very well done for I've tried to have the conversation with you when Red Dead Redemption, I first got to play it, is there are so many different callbacks and references and homages to the classic Wild West movies.
Yeah.
And that whole relationship between Jack and his son John, or other way around, John and his son Jack, is like, do you ever see the movie Shane? No, probably not. Okay. The thing about Shane is trying.
What was the movie recently that referenced Shane
Logan.
very heavily? Logan. Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Like the last line in Logan is the last line in Shane, essentially. So yeah, like the whole thing about having this guy come in and defend this family from robber barons, and then realizing that the only way that he can do it is through violent means, but this is not a violent place for him to live. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't actually belong with these people, despite the fact that the people want him to be there. It's like, I don't, that's what that line means. Go tell her that there aren't any more guns in the valley. Is because even he's got to bail. That is not his home. Like, I got that same vibe off of John Marston, too, because there is such a disconnect between him and his son. And he's trying to bridge that, and he realizes he really can't. Like, he is not actually a father anymore. He's not a dad.
Interesting.
Even though he's trying as hard as he can.
That's an interesting take on that dynamic. I don't think I ever thought about that.
He's still a good guy, and he understands that as a father, he has a responsibility to ensure that this young man is able to care for himself. And so he goes off and he tries to reconnect and make sure that Jack knows what he's supposed to be doing. But every time they go off and do something, like, Jack blames John for almost everything that goes wrong during these moments, and that constantly brings them back to, like, you abandoned me and I had to learn all this shit on my own.
But still, so that's a very good, like, complex interpersonal, because there's a lot of complexity there.
Yeah, it's the way it's complex. It's complicated.
No, I'm very lost.
Okay, that's
like,
fine.
Okay.
Both of us are just like,
totally fine.
Show of hands throughout the four people, and you can raise your hands in the chat room too. Raise your hand if you are actually a fan of Western movies. I'm sticking my hand up right now.
I'm a fan of Western
right
movies.
now.
I like Westerns.
I historically hadn't been, but I started to come around to them in the last few years.
Try going back to stuff like The Searchers, Shane, Once Upon a Time in the West. Not just the new stuff, the old stuff too. Like, start going back to that.
Eastwood before he lost his shit.
Eastwood before he lost his shit. Yeah. Like, because you'll see a lot of you'll see a lot of stuff like people that don't belong in a civilized world. Sure. Like, everybody makes a big deal about the Old West and all the guns blazing and shooting and Sam Peckinpah slow motion deaths and shit. And behind all of that is a complicated battle between civility and savagery that you could just really get into.
Well, jumping back then to our personal relationships, does Cowboys and Aliens count?
Actually, kind of, yeah, it does.
And Back to the Future 3?
No, that one does not.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, here's another one. You guys might have played this one.
I'm playing this one
bring
next.
Bring us the girl, wipe away the debt. Booker and Elizabeth. Did you guys play through?
I did.
You finished Infinite. You're playing it now.
I'm going to play it, yes.
And you?
I have not finished it. I've come extremely close, but I was playing it on hard, and I was vastly unprepared for the big airship battle right there at the back end.
So we know the ending.
Yes.
Do you guys buy the relationship between them? Their dynamic, does it seem believable to you?
No.
I have my own weird idea of, I think she's evil. Like, straight
really?
up. Yeah, I think that she knows the time lapses and she does it on purpose to screw with Booker. And
Interesting. Chuck, you don't buy it.
No.
Why not?
It seems like the both of them are just using each other to achieve their common ends. And so there is there is a need to protect each other, and there is also a personal emotional desire to protect each other as well. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to me like
that they actually mean anything to each other.
Each other.
They don't mean anything to each other outside of the confines of this event.
Okay, so we've finished the game. Do you buy their relationship? Like,
I don't know.
He doesn't want to spoil it.
If you don't want to hear...
The answer to any question regarding the end of BioShock Infinite I don't know is actually a fantastic answer.
You're welcome.
To every, like, when you finish that game, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yep. That's
like,
well, because like I saw Peter finish the first one, or I guess like the newer one or whatever, between the big daddies and the little girls and all that, and so I know those endings, and so I'm like, I know you get to pick. I know you get to pick whether you save them or you use them, so you can get more Adam and all that, but like. That in itself,
Bioshock 3 is completely different. Like, so don't even like compare.
I know.
I've
seen some of it. Like I've seen Peter play some of Infinite, and I've seen the beginning. And the beginning itself is why I wanted to play it.
The relationship is when you finish it is complicated, and
that's a good word.
Not needlessly complicated, but like. It's really hard to talk about without talking about the rest of it.
Yeah.
And since I wouldn't have a problem spoiling Bioshock Infinite, except for the fact that you're playing it now, so I'll avoid doing that.
We can't spend half this episode with your ears clogged with your.
That's
fingers.
fine. I'm not going to play any of the others, so it's fine.
But the relationship between them is a plot point, like is a thing. So, okay, this next one is one I don't think anybody else has played but me, but. Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons.
I've played it.
You played it. Did you finish it?
I played, yes.
Okay.
Yes,
did you weep?
Of course he did.
If you play this game and you don't...
weepy ass bitch.
If you don't cry when you play this game, you're a goddamn monster.
Like,
you are a monster.
I cracked up a little bit. Spoilers. 3, 2, 1. I cracked up a little bit when the older brother died.
Yeah.
And then I cracked the rest of the way when I finally figured out the last puzzle.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you guys a little bit again. Here's a spoiler for Brothers, Tale of Two Sons. The way that the game controls, and this is maybe the most brilliant use of interpersonal relationship I've ever seen. In the game, you control one brother with the left stick and the left trigger. It's like moving in action.
Huh.
And that's all you do. And then the other brother is the right stick and the right trigger. So you move them both at the same time and do actions with them.
That's crazy.
So for example, the little brother walks over to the big brother, and you use use little brother action to hang on to him, and then big brother action to swim. So there comes a point in the game where the big brother dies as they're trying to get this thing to save their dad's life. They go to this tree, the brother gets killed by a spider, and so the little brother has like finding his way back to give the thing to save his dad, and like trying to do it alone now. And so the kid is afraid of water and couldn't swim. You get to the water, and you're like, well, the little brother won't action, he won't swim. He's too afraid to. And I used to do this with the big brother, so what do I do? And I'm looking around, I'm doing everything, and then when it dawned on me that you use the big brother action with the little brother, I just lost it. I just started crying, like straight. Like,
what?
Holy shit.
Your eyes are watering.
Yeah, right now. Like, it's fucking intense.
Why?
Why what?
Why would you be upset? Because it's like he's imagining his brother's there?
No, like he meant that much to him, and like, basically his brother passed on that knowledge to him, like, got him over his fear of...
Yeah, he found his strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not only is he doing it for his father, but he's doing it for his brother.
I don't think I get emotional. I'll be like, oh, all right, well, that's how we do that. Okay.
Oh, got it. Moving on. You are a monster.
Both brothers engage. You know, they embark on this journey together, and then they keep going through all of these things. And of course, if you're going to spend an extended amount of time with people, you're going to develop that relationship with each other. Like, you find out all the different ways that the little brother and the big brother interact. Like, the little brother can get into things, and the big brother's stronger, and he's taller.
The whole game is just one relation, is the relationship.
So when you come across this thing where all of a sudden you just completely stop, like, you as a player are almost forced to make that decision. Like, is this really the way the game ends?
So it just sounds like an emotional ice climbers to me. Like, I mean, I don't really feel like it's just not really. It's not really driving home at me right now. It just feels like ice climbers.
You know what you need to do?
1, 1, 2,
I'm going to give you a little homework assignment, sir. I'm going to send you home. And you're going to watch a series of movies, and the first movie that I'm going to suggest to you is Steel fucking Magnolias, because this is the 30th anniversary.
I'm just going to get you Brothers on Steam. I'm going to have you play through it with a controller.
Okay.
And
And just hope
You're going to hate it.
And hope I weep.
You're a heartless, soulless sack of crap.
Game Guy wants to have real talk. Game Guy wants to have some real talk, so we're going to let the chat
Ice Climbers are trash. So basically saying it's like Ice Climbers with emotion, okay? So there you go.
It's And Game Guy also was wanting to argue with me. We were talking about different things, but I will go ahead and say that you win, Game Guy. Just because...
It's all right. He's a coward. He's a coward. He doesn't want to argue with you, and he's just letting you win.
But Ice Climbers was trash.
Ice Climbers was trash.
Ice Climbers was trash.
It was trash.
And Ulfric Ulfric cried during Steel Magnolias.
Yeah.
Okay, next up. This is something, and Master Chief and Cortana.
That's my boo.
And this is something that struck me about 4. When Bungie stopped doing Halo, and they gave it to 343, which is like a subsidiary kind of studio, like
imprint label.
An imprint label from Bungie and from Microsoft. So, you know. But the reason that I think that they did Halo better than Bungie ever did was because they focused on that, on the interpersonal relationship between Cortana and Master Chief. There is a brilliant line where Cortana's starting to run rampant, and she's freaking out because she can't be in control of her own shit anymore. And Chief is like, get the job done. Okay, what do we do now? Open the door. What do I do? How do we fix you? That kind of thing. And near the end of the game, he's going to go off and do something, and she goes, promise me that by the end of this, you figured out which one of us is machine and which one isn't. And it was the perfect, like, from the original Halo, which was just Space Marines shooting shit, to like that self-reflective, you know, of who you are as a game character versus this AI and what they mean to each other and how they've helped each other out. And then they shit all over it in 5, kinda, which is why I really am upset with 5, but I need to play it again.
I thought you were upset with 5 because of the lack of multiplayer.
And fucking lack of split-screen co-op.
That's
fucking trash.
I did it.
Fucking crap. Every single Halo game has split-screen co-op, except 5.
But that's probably because it was a higher end of graphics and just they don't do those.
That doesn't matter. Look, there's going to be a game coming out from the people that made Brothers.
If Gears of War 4 can have split-screen co-op, Halo 5 can fucking have split-screen co-op.
Gears of War for 360 or Xbox?
Gears of War 4 for Xbox One.
Okay, well, it's still trash.
Again, consoles.
Oh, man.
You have to remember where he's coming from in terms of technology.
So Halo 2 begins their relationship, and Halo 4 sort of ends it. And so there's a scene, I'm going to spoil the end of Halo 4, and you and I are going to play through the Halo series, I think.
Thanks.
Like, together, from beginning to end.
Well, are we? The invite, dickbag. No, it's all right.
Are we gonna?
We can do it more time.
Are we gonna Game Grumps the Halo series?
I'll have you two play it co-op.
No.
Oh yes.
No, Calvin and I will watch Steel Magnolias while you guys watch Halo. 5.
Oh no, I think me and Chuck should play it through together.
You know, because what's going to happen is Halo and Steel Magnolias are going to be two different situations, and one's going to need the guide, and the other one is going to need the young grasshopper. So yeah, you have to figure out who's who on that one.
Anyway, so I actually, do I want to spoil the end of Halo 4? No, I won't. I will just say that I also cried at the end of Halo 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very, very good.
Crying at the end of a first-person shooter says a lot about said first-person shooter.
Here's one. Chuck.
Ooh.
Dante and Virgil. This I chose DMC over, say, Devil May Cry 3 because they interact with each other a lot more in this game. Mm-hmm. If you play this game and then go immediately to 3, this is technically a reboot.
Horribly different.
They're different, and DMC was a reboot, but you can abut DMC right up to 3. And the story will still go.
Kind of a broken bridge, but sure.
Yeah, you could jump from one to the other. It may not literally connect, but it's not a big leap.
Did you ever? This is I'm thinking of just relationships right now.
Yeah.
Did you put up Squall and Cypher in Final Fantasy VIII?
Squall and Cypher is good. What about their relationship?
Just because it started off as just like an enemy. Like they started off as not really best friends, but rivals. Mm-hmm. Essentially, they were just rivals, and then eventually
And then they become enemies.
Yeah.
Well, that's because Squall and Cypher represent like two entirely different schools of thought. Because Cypher was all about he called it the romantic dream. That's why he always followed Sorceress Adea around, was because that was what gave his life purpose.
Right.
Squall, on the other hand, didn't think life had any purpose whatsoever until he met Renoa. So
you really liked the changing relationship then.
Yes.
It changes twice.
Twice.
So they go from rivals to friends to enemies?
Rivals to enemies, and then at the very, very end of the game, they become friends.
Because as Cypher realizes that he was wrong.
Okay.
And Squall realizes that he actually has something to live for.
With that, I would even say Infamous Second Son.
Oh, yeah.
I never played it, so
it was really good because the brother was a cop. And you play...
Banjo and Kazooie.
But
you know what?
But like the main character you played was always kind of supposed to be the criminal. He used to graffiti, and now he's a. I haven't played in so long. Now he's a mutant.
Yeah,
and so his brother calls him exactly that. You're a mutant. Like you're breaking the law. You're doing this. You're doing that, and you're supposed to be locked up due to city ordinances and whatnot. But by the end of it, the brother was on his side, not only because they were brothers, but because he understood that
he was like for a good cause kind of thing.
It's for a good cause, though he is still technically breaking the law. And so, spoilers, by the end of it, the brother dies, and regardless of if you played hero or villain, you still have that traumatic scene where he's crying. And to me, it meant so much more.
And that the nature of the brotherly relationship is something that Devil May Cry sort of overall does very well.
Yes.
But especially DMC, because you have these two brothers, again, sort of different ideologies in terms of what's right and what's wrong and what's necessary and what's not. And Virgil being that, like, we have to do essentially whatever is necessary to gain the upper hand here, even, he thinks it's for a good cause, and there's, like, lines that Dante won't cross. And there's actually a really great scene in DMC where they're doing a hostage exchange, and they have the pregnant demonic wife of the villain, and the villain has one of their friends. And Virgil has a sniper rifle, and they're having him walk across. And as soon as they get across, Virgil goes ahead and executes their own hostage. And so, like, essentially becoming the villain and really setting up the conflict for, like, the rest of the games. And that sort of break of that, we're family, we're trying to stay together, but you're fucking awful,
particularly
is very cool.
Weird because Virgil in DMC was trying as hard as he could to convince Dante that the two of them had to work together in order to save the world from its own destruction.
Right, and so if you follow this story from like DMC all the way through, which would be, I guess, Devil May Cry, which you would have...
Devil May Cry 2.
That would have been the final thing.
Correct me if I'm wrong. DMC Reboot, and then DMC 3, DMC 1, DMC 4, and then DMC 2.
Yeah, that's technically the chronology. But if you just play DMC and then 3 and then 1, you get to see them break and then fight and then sort of resolve.
Yeah, it's a resolution in death, though, the first one.
Yeah.
Because you do have to kill... You have to kill Virgil, and that's when you get the Sword of Sparta.
So, a developer that does interpersonal relationships extremely well in general.
Yes. BioWare, easily.
BioWare.
Like, you have to remember that BioWare started not by a couple of programmers, but by a couple of doctors. Mm-hmm. Like, these were people who were initially and primarily always about caring for people and caring about people. So even back in the days of like the first Baldur's Gate for PC, it is always about talking. You have to talk your way through things, because if you try to get into a fight in the first Baldur's Gate, the second edition D&D rules were going to cream you.
So I wanted to include, like I do usually when we do like lists of things, is I try to include everybody in the discussion. And so I wanted to reach out to the LGBTQ community in terms of these things. And in a lot of BioWare games, you can same-sex romance regardless of who your main character is. But there are almost no gay couples represented in the game other than when you are playing it. And the closest thing that I could find is Dorian and Bull. This is from Dragon Age Inquisition. Mm-hmm. And they can sort of flirt and romance each other, and they're fucking hysterical. It is a brilliant dynamic, and this is something that BioWare puts front and foremost in most of their games, is the interpersonal relationship, like the chatter between people.
Definitely in Dragon Age, you're going to get a lot of homosexual relationships as well. Dragon Age 2 had Anders.
And yes, Bull has sweet nips.
I mean, look at those things. Look
Golden.
Look like milk duds. Anyway.
Some big old areolas. They're like pepperoni.
The head writer for the Dragon Age series until recently...
So wasn't expecting that from you guys. Just
the nip talk?
Yeah.
Really?
Really? I was like...
Have you?
I've apparently...
Has it really been this long since you've been on the show?
Do you not listen to how deep we talk about?
Do you watch
some of our shows?
That dude was not part of the itty bitty titty committee, okay? He had some like
dinner plate bodybuilder boobs,
right? He had dinner plate nips, dude.
Yeah.
So anyway, David Geiner, head writer for the majority of the Dragon Age oeuvre, and I think he actually came out as openly gay to the gaming community on the BioWare boards.
Right.
And so,
so we get a lot of complexity in the interpersonal relationships in a lot of BioWare stories because of the imprint Gator has left.
Yeah, writers write what they know, and it's about time that we had somebody come in and not just represent it, but represent it accurately.
I can't speak to the accuracy of it, but I appreciate that it is there.
Though I can't either. But on the other hand,
I don't want to claim that I know anything.
We accept
about it.
I have a few friends. I have a few friends who are openly gay. Mm-hmm. They are proud to be gay, and they are gamers as well. They played through the Dragon Age series, and they all agree that Anders going mad from love, losing his gay lover, and then watching the flirtation happening between Bull and Dorian were really relieving for them to see.
In these instances, they were...
they connected with it immediately.
That's awesome. Yeah. And so, just kudos to BioWare sort of in general. Lauren, I chose this one for you.
I can definitely talk about this one.
Could you now?
I can.
Calvin, have you played Last of Us?
Of course.
Okay, so we're all on the fucking same page.
Are you on the same page?
I can definitely know.
Do you buy this relationship?
Hands
do you
yes.
believe?
Yes, I do.
Absolutely.
Wholesale, throw away the receipt, not taking this back.
Nope.
The only reason, and this is now spoilers.
Spoiler territory for Last of Us, guys.
The only reason I think this relationship works is because in the very beginning, the first thing you do is see him lose his daughter. That is the first thing that happens. And by the end of it, he saves Ellie because now that relationship has grown on him so much that now he has taken her as his daughter.
But also it's a double-edged sword as well, though, because he saved the daughter or saved the world type of thing. And this is a game, you talk about me being a monster, I absolutely cried at this game.
Okay. You are slightly less of a monster.
I did too.
But at the very beginning, though, even with the relationship with him and his daughter, I totally buy.
Yeah.
And I think
it sold you from the beginning.
Yeah. And I think I can tell you why.
Fuck.
This is something Naughty Dog does well also with Drake and Elena, Drake and Chloe, with Chloe and Elena, like really with a little less with Sam and Nathan. I didn't really buy their brotherly.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Number 4, the fourth.
Any Drake Uncharted game, you got him.
See, but this is where I think for me, like, in the beginning, when I very first played it, I was still really pissed off about how it ended and how he did choose her to live and everything. And so I'm one of those people that believes sacrifice one to the greater good of the many.
Yeah.
And I just did a philosophy class, so, I'm still stuck on that. And so for me, it's like, granted, in the beginning, his daughter did die, and there was nothing he could do to save her, and there was no good that came from that. However, with Ellie, it was her decision to be taken and to be used as a lab rat. It was her choice, and he overrode her decision.
Yeah.
That's what pissed me off.
Joel is a monster, and
that's what pissed me off.
He's the good guy monster, if that's a real thing, in that he is trying to do what's right, until he's selfish.
In The Last of Us,
opposed to sacrificing her.
In The Last of Us, you have to understand.
But he made her decision for her, is Lauren's point.
Like, everybody,
she's not an adult.
Every character in The Last of Us is gray. Every character in The Last of Us is gray. End of line. Like, even Joel says it himself when they start approaching that point, and like, this looks like a good place for an ambush. And Ellie looks at him and is like, how do you know this? Because I've been on both sides of it. Like, he set up the ambush, he's been ambushed, everything he does is for survival. The Fireflies are perfectly fine with killing a little girl if it means saving everybody. Ellie is perfectly fine with dying if it means saving everybody. She's probably the least gray character. But, like...
and people sort of... Jonathan agreed with you, Calvin, in terms of being, you know...
Like, the guy in, what is it, Colorado? Your plan is Ellie, and you have to sneak around that restaurant and keep him from catching you. He is doing that because he has a community to look after, and when you first run into him, he's hunting for food. And he actually offers a little bit of food to her to keep her alive because she's freezing to death and hasn't caught anything for hours. Right. So, you know, everybody has this, we're looking out for each other, we're looking out for ourselves, and then with the exact same... like the exact same motive, everybody does just the worst things to each other.
Let me put it this way. Jonathan says, I wouldn't want my own daughter to sacrifice herself. Let's say you have a 15-year-old daughter, and she has terminal cancer, and she's in pain, and she wants you to end it, and you don't want her to. Is that a good are you making the right decision by not abiding by her wishes?
You're being selfish.
That's a slippery slope.
That is a very... No. I'm agreeing with Calvin. No. I think that example is a little too broad. Like, obviously she's in pain. You don't think these are
analogous?
I don't feel like it's close enough. Slope. She's not dying, first of all. She's the only one living.
Yeah, she's immune.
She's immune, so she's going to live until she's going to die of someone else.
But the point is that she's made a life or death decision on her own life.
But it's to save others. It's not to save herself. If you were making a decision of a 15-year-old who doesn't want to live because they're in pain, who's having cancer, who's having to do treatments they don't want to do, I'm still on the idea that you're going over.
That may not have been like a great, perfect analogy.
The analogy broke apart as soon as you said that she was dying.
There are links, though. There's overlap.
It's a slippery slope.
There's overlap here.
There's a difference.
Your analogy broke as soon as you said that she was dying of terminal cancer, because the only person that's suffering is her physically, and then you and the people she cares about emotionally. So yeah, there's going to be this big Terry Shiloh-like argument.
If you have a 15-year-old who has organs of like an O-negative patient, so her organs...
Very important.
So her organs can go to Chuck, you, Calvin, and myself, because I'm O-negative. She's 15, we're all 20s and 30s, so if we get those organs, we'll live to see our 60s.
Okay.
More than likely. She's 15... She's not dying.
That's probably a better analogy. And
I would say that.
I still haven't changed my mind on Joel being a monster in that case.
I think he was selfish.
No, Joel.
But I now I can see your point here.
I would say that Joel is not a monster. He is just merely a human who has been forced to survive in a world that is much, much harsher than the one we live in.
The end of the game, though, again, depends entirely on you believing the relationship. Like, if you don't buy they care about each other, then the whole thing falls apart.
Steven, you know how much I bought into how much I
for sure. There are very few people, I think, that would play The Last of Us and think,
this is why,
that's crap.
You watched me beat that game.
Their relationship, I believed. So I believe that he cared about her enough that he would have said, no, you're not fucking doing this. Like in Jonathan's case, if he has a daughter, of course he's not going to say, well, yeah, sacrifice your life. But at the same time, I feel like the character development that we saw of solely Joel did not correlate well with him saying, no, I care about you too much now.
Of course he cares about him too much. Joel lost everything. That's why he's some
Do you think Joel became a better person at the end of the game or not?
No.
I feel like it was too abrupt. Like, he was trying to be a good person, but it was just kind of like
He became his definition of a good person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is what that is.
And you think that he did the right thing?
In the eyes of saving a little girl's life that could help out the greater good, and also becoming attached to that person, losing his daughter in the same aspect.
Throwing away the greater good.
He doesn't want to lose somebody else in such a corrupt and dark world, so he's trying to...
And that also depends on the... on buying the relationship between him and his daughter at the beginning.
He doesn't want to lose her again yet.
And one thing that they do... So the thing that I think what really sells these relationships in games... and here's a quick example of a bad one. Fallout 4. Fallout 4 and your companions, that's pure shit. It's completely meaningless. In a lot of games, the relationship builds talking about things that aren't plot. Personality traits, things you like, or, even when it's a little expositionary heavy, like, I remember back in blah, 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 we used to, the colorful things that they share with each other. So there's shared experience and talking about things that aren't story is really my main thing. So this is where Fallout 4 really fell through with me. I had, it was a Piper.
Yeah.
The newsie.
Yep.
We romanced, and I was also doing things that conflicted with her worldview. Yeah. And so I do a thing, I can't even remember what it was. Maybe I blew up the Brotherhood of Steel or some shit like that. But she's like, and this is where I thought the game was about to get really interesting. She goes, I love you, but I can't stand by you and watch you do what you're doing anymore. This is not and I was like, really? And so I unholster my weapon because I think she's about to attack me. And she's like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do it. And then nothing happens. She's still your companion. She's still with you. It didn't change anything. I didn't have to fight her.
Why did you pull your gun?
I thought she was going to attack me.
Did you seriously think she was going to attack you?
I thought something interesting was going to happen for the first time in Fallout 4.
I don't know. Turn around and walk back to the diamond?
You know what? I think that they should have given you the option to pick up a new companion and sent her back to the Diamond
at least,
Hill.
even if she did just turn around and walk away, that would have been interesting and a little heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But she's just like, this is awful and you're terrible.
No. I'm not talking
go to
about
the
the
next
game, and I'm not talking about Piper. I'm talking about you.
And then
your first response when somebody says, I love you, but I can't watch you do this and I can't stand by you.
Is to put that person in a hostile situation
is to pull
with
a gun and be ready for an
maybe she
attack?
thought she has to stay.
No, I'm with Steven.
Because she has a gun on her.
Fucking paranoid are you?
I'm with Steven. I played this game so much where I had people turn on me at random points. So if somebody's like, I can't watch you do this.
It was
pull a gun
It was the way
you.
she said it too. It wasn't even just like, this is breaking my heart and I have to leave or anything like that. The way she was talking was like she was about to draw. And so I got real, and I was like, what do I do? Do I even, and it turns out it didn't matter because it's very shallow and stupid.
Yes.
But the fact that we had that moment for there was almost really awesome. So anyway, we had several more examples, but we are out of time.
This is a conversation that we
may have we may add on. We may add on another one. Just Gravy says he's dating Sarah. She could kill him with her stare. Of course he pulls out the gun.
Never walk in on Steven.
Our producer Sarah. Yeah, she's fiery. She's awesome.
JB also says that I can't remember his name now. Joel absolutely becomes a better person.
Yeah.
Interesting. I disagree.
And
I like the fact that we can.
I think you're all horrible people. Of course you became a better person.
And you can't cry.
About an Ice Climbers game? Yeah.
Did you play the DLC for Last of Us?
No.
Okay, the relationship between Ellie and her friend is also really awesome.
You have the really emotional maturity of a 5-year-old, Calvin.
No, The Last of Us is an emotional game.
True. That's true, though.
Last of Us is an emotional game.
It is.
I wasn't kidding.
But the fact that it's even debate, that we can debate this kind of thing, is wonderful relationship building. And this is something that I want to encourage other developers to do, is to think about the relationships of your characters, not in terms of utility, but in terms of personality. Serving a game mechanic is good, but the story becomes much more real when you care about the people in it.
Absolutely.
And so, if I'm playing, the only reason I give a shit when I lose a character in XCOM 2 is because I make them look like y'all. So...
He wasn't too upset about us, mind you. He just made a new game and he was like, "Oh fuck it."
No, that's why I stopped naming all my units in XCOM 1. It was because I got tired of losing my friends.
Too much.
Like,
we suck really too much in this game.
I wanted you guys to ride with me to the very end of XCOM 1, but no.
If
TPK.
It is about toast time at near the end of our podcast. Every week we do a toast. We toast to someone or something somehow. If you guys want,
I like
go grab.
strawberry.
I know. I'll do it anyway. She'll watch. But if you guys want to go grab your glasses, go grab a drink. I usually remind you at the beginning of the show to go do it. Forgot today. My bad, but I'll give you a second. If you guys want to do the toast with the official Gutter Nerds glass, you can go to our shop, facebook.com/gutternerds. Click shop now. They're $15. I'll mail them to you. We've sold 6 or so far.
What's the background?
What's the background? That is a light box. So I have a box that I folds out. I put backing in there, and then I shine lights on it to diffuse the light to get a very even shot.
Is it even?
It's okay. I'm still getting used to it.
Yeah, I see a very heavy. I see 2 heavy creases.
Yeah. And for the record, the characters that are dead in XCOM 2 are Sarah. I made my sister, and she died, and me.
Which sister?
We were the 3. Hannah. We're the 3 that died. Everyone else is still alive. And June actually regenerated. June was a sniper who died, but she regenerated as a Psi operative. Cool. So she does mind shit. Now that it is past midnight in Norway, so it is June's birthday. So my toast, and you guys, if you want to join me on this or make your own individual toast, my toast is to June, our second mod. It is her birthday. Happy birthday, June.
Happy birthday.
Happy 14th birthday.
14th.
To June.
June.
There, I tapped it.
No, you have to tap the table. God, you are the worst at
I can't even drink mine.
Have you drank anything before?
Can we all just agree that every person on the Gutter Nerds cast sucks at something? We are just the worst at blank.
I'm pretty good at most things.
Oh my god. You suck at humility.
The last thing that we do before we call it a night is we go to the can. This is the Gutter Nerds fan can.
What'd you put in mine?
It's Twaka. It is vanilla citrus liqueur.
I want to read it.
You don't like it? You don't like it?
She's been drinking
I was expecting
I've
been drinking watermelon, but
I want to read
it. It's the citrus. Go ahead.
If you guys, these are random questions asked by people usually at events. If you want to add something to the fan can, tweet us at Gutter Nerds using the hashtag FanCan, and we will. I have to screen it first, Cal, so I don't want you to read some sexist, awful nonsense. Okay, you can. We don't know who this is from. They didn't sign it.
Do I get to screen it? Do I get to redo it if I don't
You can read it. You can read it however you want. If it is directed towards someone, let them know. But everybody answers anyway.
So first off, congrats to Game Guy passing his driver's license test.
Oh yeah, congrats, Game Guy. Well done,
so
mate.
So you can come see us now.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
So also, our question is, why?
That's it.
Just why?
Here, hold that up.
Just why?
Why?
Chuck? Why?
Yeah. Okay. So we'll start with Chuck. Why?
Why?
Why the fuck not?
Yeah, like Kevin Smith said. Don't surround yourself with the why people. Surround yourself with the why not people. Why, Lauren? Why?
Because I fucking said so, Steven.
Good. What about you?
That ain't good enough.
Why?
Just fucking why not?
Exactly. Okay, why not? Exactly. Why?
Why?
Because of the money. That's why.
Okay.
Wow. O-umlaut.
This is the last podcast from this location. The next time you guys see us, we'll be in a new space. We have new furniture coming. So that I don't know exactly when the new furniture is getting here, but it's on its way. It may not be up for our first podcast in the new space, but we will have an actual kind of a set that we will be ready to go.
So
I'm very excited about that.
Sweet, couch photos on it.
On the
we have
new
to.
set.
On the new set.
Okay, this is Calvin we're talking about. Pay attention to the way he said sweet.
Calvin has to wear clothes.
Question.
Calvin has to wear clothes.
I asked a normal question.
You asked a simple
You
normal
must-
question.
How dare you?
Which
It
had
must be
so many
to your
Calvin
fingertips.
strings attached.
You must wear to your fingertips, Calvin. past your fingertips.
I can make that work.
He's gonna cut short.
I'm really excited about that. So you guys say goodbye to this ramshackle.
I don't have to.
Fucking crazy shit.
This is mine.
After we sign off, I'll show you guys. I mean, you've probably sort of seen it in some other streams, but I'll give you guys a little look-see when we're done here after a sign off. But
Game Guy has an idea real quick before we head out of here. Game Guy.
Yeah, toss it out to us. But while Game Guy's giving us an idea, guys, don't forget that you can now subscribe to our channel.
Woo!
You can follow us as well. Please share us with someone. Go to our... Here, Chuck, you want to point down there?
No, don't do that! I have to pull my shirt down before you do that.
Right here.
People don't want to see my butt.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you,
right down
Lauren.
there
Where Lauren's pointing is our Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. You guys can watch all the podcasts on our YouTube channel in replay. You can watch the... thank you. Highlights from our Twitch and stuff like that. So, okay. So Game Guy wants to keep it a surprise. So that's fine.
Oh,
but, yeah, go follow us. Do all that stuff. And thank you guys for hanging out. We will be back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
We'll still stream.
2 weeks!
I'm going to stream on Thursday. I'm going to get either some Lego Star Wars Going with JB, or I'm going to finish XCOM 2 with you guys on Thursday night.
Maybe you can help me set up my stream appropriately.
Yeah.
2 weeks!
I'll help you guys with your channels if you need as well.
You sound like an old man.
2 weeks!
And then aren't we...
But we're going to have a meeting next Monday, so you guys don't get too
It is in 2 weeks. The topic, it's a fun topic.
Oh, I won't be there now.
In 2 weeks, it is a fun topic.
Yeah.
I think it's MOBA games.
Is it MOBA games?
MOBA.
I think it might be.
What's my... Oh, mobile.
Go to gutternerds.com and you can see our schedule. It's a gutternerds.com.
I gotta look. I don't know what it is.
But my name is Steven.
I'm Lauren.
I'm the other guy in the gutter, Corporate Cow.
And I'm the last guy in the gutter, Bionic Commando.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Goodbye, everybody. Okay, bye.